Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. So today I'm going to be doing a side by side of the Anbernic RG28XX and also the Miyoo A30. Let's start off with the price point first. So for the Anbernic, at the moment on AliExpress is £31.79, which is a decent price in my humble opinion. It's a cheap little handheld and it's a great little handheld for that price point. The Miyoo A30 is slightly cheaper, coming in at £25.89. Again, a great little device, and I'll be obviously showing you a quick overview of both devices and which one I think is better in my humble opinion. So a quick rundown of the specs of each device. Quick rundown for the A30 then. So it comes with an A33 quad-core processor clocked in at 1.2 GHz. It has an IPS display, 2.8 inches, 640 by 40 resolution, 512 MB of RAM, can go up to 120 GB micro SD storage, and also has a 2600 mAh battery. Does last around 5 hours depending on your usage, so that's going to vary depending on how you use it. So as for the actual Anbernic then, pretty similar in specs here. So we do get about, it says 8 hours but it's about 5 to be honest. It does have 1 GB of RAM compared to 512. Also you can connect this to a TV via micro HDMI, and also does go up to 120 GB of storage, even though it does state 64 GB on here. So they're both kind of spec'd more or less the same. In terms of my testing, they were more or less the same. I did take off some of the cores on the actual Miyoo A30, but I'll get into that in a little bit later. So the device itself is 2.8 inches or 2.83, a little bit bigger than the A30, so there is a little difference there, but it's a very subtle difference. There's not much of a difference there. So we will check out some gameplay here, and we will compare the two devices together side by side. On testing both of these devices, I do like them both, but there is one that I prefer over the other, and I will get into that a little bit later on into the video. Before I continue, I just want to let you know in my next video I will be showing you this Super EverDrive for the Super Nintendo, and I will also be doing a video on the Mega Ever Genesis for the Sega Genesis, so be sure to check those videos out in the future. Anyway, let's get right back to this. So on the actual Anbernic device, I do have more cores which I took off the Miyoo A30, and that's because I just wanted to stick to SNES and Genesis on the Miyoo A30, because it can play the same cores as the actual Anbernic, but it didn't play them as smoothly as the actual Anbernic device, and that's the reason why I kind of took them off, because it didn't play Dreamcast games very well or anything like that. So we're going to head in and check out some gameplay footage on the Anbernic, and we're going to check out some systems. But before I do that, I just want to give you a quick side by side of both screens, because a lot of people did say the Anbernic is slightly brighter. To be honest with you, I can't really tell the difference. Let me know in the comment section down below if you can see the difference, because I couldn't actually see any difference in screen brightness on both of these screens. I think they're both very good screens. My only gripe is they could have been a little bit brighter, but they're more than perfect for myself, because I do game with them in the dark and they are more than capable of playing both of these in the dark. I am happy that I do own both of these devices, because I do carry them together, because they are fairly small and they don't take much space. So if you got like a little man bag or something like that and you want to carry a couple of devices with you to game on the go and not have to use your phone, these are perfect, because I do prefer buttons over touchscreen, and a lot of games that I do play on the go, you know, these are more than capable of being able to play those. And here I'm just stacking them together just to give you an idea of what they're like side by side, so you can get an idea of if you're going to pick one over the other or if you want to buy both. It's up to yourselves. But like I mentioned, I am happy that I do own both of these micro devices. Anyway, we're going to jump into some gameplay. So we're going to start off with Street Fighter Alpha 3, and this is on the PSP. So I'm going to go ahead and be quiet for a second and let you just watch some gameplay. The D-pad itself is decent. It's not the best D-pad, but it's okay. The only thing about it is that it's very small. As you can see, my whole thumb can go over the actual D-pad, and also the buttons are very small as well. And that was a gripe in my previous video that I made on this device, so bear that in mind, guys. Also, the 512 megabytes of RAM on the A30 didn't help when you're playing Dreamcast games or anything powerful. Even PS1 kind of suffered at times. So the 1 gigabytes of RAM really helps this device, and for that reason I took off the cores on the Miyoo A30. I'm not going to check all the cores on the Anbernic device because I'd be here all day, but everything that's on the actual system and all the games that I did try before recording do work. So if you're in the market to play, all the cores are on the actual Anbernic, you'll be fine. It plays everything that's on the actual device itself, and I didn't have any issues or anything like that. This is just to give you a little demonstration of some of the games that do work and do work very, very well. For the Anbernic device then, so far we've played Streets of Rage for the Sega Genesis, we've also played Street Fighter Alpha 3 on the PSP, Crazy Taxi for the Dreamcast, and now we're checking out Game Boy Advance, and it plays perfectly well. So we've had no issues, no frame skipping or anything like that. So like I mentioned earlier, it plays everything like a champion. So a great little device so far. Let's jump into the Miyoo A30 then. So we're going to try some Turtles first. I haven't played this game in a minute, so I'm not going to be very good at it. I can tell you that right off the bat. And I will be making another video for the A30 because I don't think it's fair to not add the other cores and show you what they run like. I wish I would have done that now in hindsight, but it's done now. But yeah, so I'll make another video just to show you some of the other cores and how it performs. It doesn't perform very well, like I mentioned. The 512 RAM is not just enough, unfortunately, to play some of the higher end games consoles like the PS1, the Dreamcast and stuff like that. I mean, some games do play on the PS1, they did work fine, but again, there was some frame skipping and also some screen tearing that I witnessed, and I thought to myself, you know what, this is not for me, and I'd rather just play the 16-bit era and less like the 8-bit and also the Game Boy, which I'll be showing shortly as well. Next up, let's try some R-Type on the Game Boy. So this game I have to watch my brother play a lot, and I have a lot of passion for R-Type, but I'm very, very rubbish at R-Type. I remember my brother back in the days to say, don't turn on the computer and don't play my Game Boy, and I have to go and play R-Type on his Game Boy and also on the Super Nintendo, and I was very, very rubbish at it. But I'm still going to give it a go because I do love R-Type, even though I'm not very good at it. Anyway, let's try another Game Boy game. So we're going to try Tetris because it's a classic. I love this game. Again, I have to watch my brother play this for hours. It was just so much fun just to watch my brother play it because he was so good at it. And it was just like, you know, I was a little kid, maybe like 4 or 5 years old at the time. I'm giving my age away now. But yeah, it was a fun time, and I used to watch my brother play this game all the time. Ton of fun, even till this day. When you want to kill a bit of time, Tetris is the way to go. Okay, so it's time for the verdict. So which device do I prefer? Honestly, I do love both of these devices for different reasons. So I can't really pick one over the other, but one is better than the other in my humble opinion. So for the Anbernic device, I do love it because it does play more calls and it does play them really well. And for what it is, this micro little machine, it's just absolutely amazing. The only gripe is the D-pad and the buttons. The Miyoo Mini though, the Miyoo A30 I do love because of the ergonomics. The buttons are better. I don't like the fact that the start is at the bottom and the select is at the top, and it does have that thumbstick and it does come in clutch. So I do prefer the Miyoo A30 for that reason. And that's it guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like, share and subscribe, and check out some of these videos that I'm going to leave here now. And again, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed guys, again, please subscribe. Take care guys. Peace.